guys, it's April. This is the last time this year that I will be filming with these wonderful creatures behind me. October is over, and so that means October wrap-up. Yay! I'm not really that excited about October being over because that means the rest of the year is gonna be ridiculously crazy. Like always, I have done a mid-October wrap-up, so you can click the link that is somewhere on this video and down below in case I completely forget about the link, which sometimes happens. Whoops! But that talks about the first half of October, and now I will give you the wrap up for the last part of October. And I want to remind you about the YA Booktube Awards, because that is going on right now. Right now you can still vote for your favorite YA books of 2016's, links down below, but you can also enter to win one of 10 books in various different categories or against all categories, like mine. If you enter into my giveaway, you have a chance to win any one of the winners when the winners are announced. So all that information is going to be linked down below. I highly recommend that you get involved because this is really exciting and free books, and you will get to see all of the judges' beautiful faces live in January and a little bit of February, which is gonna be fun because we're all beautiful people. Not to be vain or anything, just throwing that one out there. But now for what you are really here for, and that is for my book reading wrap-up of this month. I started out this last part of October in hopes of reading more of my horror, scary type reads. I failed a little bit of that. I don't know what happened. I got sidetracked by shiny objects, which happens quite often. But I attempted to get into the scary horror mood with The Vanishing season by Jodi Lynn Anderson. That's not what I got with this book. I should really pay attention to the books when I pick them up and not just go by the feel. And not just go by the feel of what the cover and the title and the first part of the synopsis gives me, because as I started reading this, I started to realize that this is more of a ghost contemporary read rather than the horrific ghost read I was looking for. The Vanishing season is set in Door County, centered around Maggie and Pauline. These girls strike up a friendship after Maggie moves to Door County, and then girls start going missing in the county. I expected this book to be more centered around this whole vanishing thing. I love you, but you're in my video. I expected this book to be more centered around these girls vanishing, but that was a very small part of the storyline. It actually mainly focused around the two girls and their friendships and what this friendship ultimately led to. I got really angry at the ending and how things kind of just like, because I am a very vindictive person apparently, and I would not have been nearly as okay with everything as some of the characters were in this book. The premise of the book is centered around the perspective of a ghost, which is what really drew me into the story in the first place. But like I said, I did not get what I was expecting, and I wasn't too thrilled with what I got. But if you like contemporary reads, you're probably gonna like this book. I'm just not big into that kind of humanistic stuff, I guess. Yeah. The next book I read was The Great Hunt by Wendy Higgins. This is actually a retelling based on The Bone Singer. It's supposedly based around The Bone Singer, but it's very loose at this point in the series. There are bits and pieces that I can kind of see tied into this whole story, but I struggle to see how we can classify this as a retelling. It is centered around a princess named Arati. Her kingdom is being devastated by this beast, so the king opens up this contest for whoever kills the beast gets to marry the princess. Arati sees that it is her duty to agree to this because the safety of the kingdom is the first priority, and then of course you meet all of the men who are vying for the princess's hand and the right to rule the kingdom when the king dies. I had a little issue with how some of the attraction initially started, where Arati just automatically started feeling pulled to, of course, the boy who doesn't treat her very well. And I struggled with some of that, and of course, how very tropey some of this stuff was. It did keep me captured for the most part, and I am interested in seeing where this goes and how much more it actually ties into that Bone Singer retelling aspect, because like I said, it is very loose at this point and I don't see how they can bring it back, but we'll see. We'll see. And then there was Gemina by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. I did a full review over this book. I will link it in all the same places. I link everything else, so you should be able to find that. This is the second book in the Illuminae files, and it has the same feel as the first one. You get all the different formatting, all the different crazy things that happen, and there's some new sci-fi elements thrown into this book. You get wormholes, and you get weird alien drugs and all that kind of stuff. And I really liked it. And if you want more of my crazy thought blabs, I highly recommend you go check out that review. I did attempt to get back into the creepy, scary stuff. Oh, no, cat, don't do this to me. I did attempt to get back into the creepy, scary stuff with The Girl from the Well by Rin Chapuco? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get all these words out and I have all these different animals making all different kinds of noises and appearances and Welcome to my life. And my battery's about to die. This book is centered around a ghost named Okiku. I think I said that right. All of this, of course, is based on the legend that kind of inspired the Ring movies, so I was all for that. So you got Okiku, who is fighting for the souls of injured children, and then she stumbles across this boy who really draws her in, and this starts a whole great adventure onto maybe revenge isn't her only lot in life. It was creepy at points, and I really like the imagery this book brings, and apparently there's more in this series, so I'll probably be reading that. Yes, I will. I then picked up The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This, of course, most of you have heard about, is the story about aliens invading Earth. I did not expect this book to be nearly as gritty as it was, and it was very realistic in some of those gritty aspects. I could guess where a lot of it was going because it does take a lot of those alien tropes, which isn't a bad thing, it just wasn't overly surprising. I think what really drew me in the most about this story so far is how gritty and realistic it can seem to be, especially about human bodily functions. So props to Yancey for that. Okay, so my camera proceeded to die, and then I had to add a new battery. So if things are shifted just a touch, that is why. Don't judge me for that. And then there was The Victory of Eagles by Naomi Novik, which is the 5th book in the Tamriel series. This series brings dragons into the Napoleonic War. In this book, we finally get to see the clash of the British and the French, and the blood and the gore and the mess and everything. This book is so much action packed into these little pages compared to all of the other books. Some of the other books suffered from some lag a little bit, but this book did not. I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of this book, and I got really frustrated with a lot of the British politics and everything else involved in all of this. This is a cat. Don't mind me. I'm just filming a wrap up here, cat. So we're going to do the last book in this wrap-up with Fia present because she's feeling a little needy right now. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. And the last book in my wrap-up is the Ouran High School Host Club. This is a wonderful shoujo novel that makes me smile every single time. I've actually read the whole series before already and seen the anime in multiple different formats and versions and things like that. So this is one of those reads that just makes me giggle endlessly. So when I found it at the library book sale, I'm like, yes, I will pick this up because I just need some giggles in my life. In this book, Haruhi is forced into the Ouran High School host club after accidentally breaking the vase that is worth a lot of money. The humorous side of things is that she is very androgynous and therefore gets confused as a boy, and all kinds of shenanigans ensue because of it. It's a ridiculous manga, but it is a ridiculous manga that I just ridiculously like to read. So that was my fairly complicated and long-winded wrap-up, wherein which I fought many an animals and dead batteries to try and film for you. You're welcome. In conclusion, this is probably going to be my worst wrap-up ever, but we're going with it because the most important thing you need to get out of this wrap-up is you need to go vote. Go vote for your favorite YA of 2016. If you haven't heard anything else I've said, go vote. And I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.